Chapter 1. Reading Think and Grow Rich in a Certain Way. I want to address you in a very personal manner in this book. I am so filled with exuberance about Think and Grow Rich that I almost border on the evangelical when I talk about it, and I want to justify that to you. I knew about Think and Grow Rich for many years before I understood its real power. The book was on the periphery of my vision for a long time. Up until fall 2018, I had worked in book publishing for close to 3 decades. For part of that time, about 10 years, I was the editor-in-chief of a metaphysical body-mind-spirit imprint at Penguin called Tarcher. In 2005, a colleague and I reissued Think and Grow Rich with some updates. We did it almost on a lark, but much to our surprise, the new edition dramatically took off. In many respects, it saved the imprint. Thanks to the success of that book during the Great Recession of 2008, which our country has never really come to terms with and which we're still feeling reverberations from, no one from my imprint was laid off. I'm very proud of that. That's one of the signal accomplishments of my tenure there. To a very great degree, the imprint's financial health rested on our modest reissue of Think and Grow Rich, a book that is in public domain in its earliest edition, but that nonetheless sold about 1 million copies for us. So, I had a great deal of love for the book and awareness of the book, but I must also confess that my own immersion in it at that time was tangential. I did what many readers do. I picked around in it, read around in it, and I drew the hasty conclusion that I was familiar with some of its ideas. I thought, well, I'm already a veteran when it comes to self-help and motivational philosophy, and some of these steps are too basic for me. I've already done some of these things as part of different programs, so I can pick my shots. Thinking that way, I never derived any seismic benefit from the book, but later I faced a crisis in life. In the year 2013, I wasn't sure what my future was. I wasn't sure about my job security. I knew that I wanted to dedicate myself to writing, speaking, and presenting full-time, which I do today, but I was burdened with uncertainty. So, I made the decision in fall 2013 to sit down and read Think and Grow Rich, not in some casual way, not skimming or cherry-picking ideas from it, but I determined to read it through and act on it as though my life depended on it. I committed to do every single exercise in the book without fail, without reservation, and with nothing but total, passionate commitment. I must tell you that things in my life began to change dramatically for the better. Career opportunities opened to me. Writing opportunities and contracts came my way. Substantial sums of money came my way. Myriad opportunities arose to narrate books, and write articles for national audiences. Television hosting opportunities arrived. Various forms of speaking and voiceover work came to me. I had already been on that trajectory, but my dedication to Think and Grow Rich, treating it like urgently needed operating instructions for life, made a huge and still unfolding difference in the momentum of everything that was occurring. To this day, whenever a friend, family member, or someone I care about tells me that his or her life is stuck, that they're depressed or anxious, or they feel like everything they've worked for is stalled or coming to nothing, I tell them, I'll make a deal with you. I will give you a copy of Think and Grow Rich and work with you on it, but you must read it and do all its steps as though your life depends on it. When I tell them that, I'm not trying to be morbid. It's simply that the book will disclose its efficacy in no other way. There are no halfway measures with this book, and there are none in life. Think and Grow Rich delivers you only if you approach it with absolute, passionate resolve. That's part of its secret. Forgive the repetition, but I emphasize this only because I mean it so deeply. You must approach the book and do its exercises as if your life depends on it. And once again, I promise you, seeker to seeker, things will happen. Good things will enter your life. It has happened to me. I've watched it happen to others. I'm profoundly touched by stories that I hear from people from varying walks of life who tell me things like, "My life was a total wreck, and I sat in my house for 5 days and I read Think and Grow Rich. I did everything that the book said, and I found my path." This can be your experience too.